have three of our wonderful professors here with us tonight. We have Dr. Lau Sasarko-Eglin, Tracy Dynison, and Molly Toon. So really happy and thankful that they're all here with us tonight. First we'll talk academics. I'll put it over to them to talk about the majors and minors, and then we'll give some brief admissions information, just some general information for you about applying and financial aid and things like that. And then we'll leave time for you to ask questions. But if you have questions at all throughout this presentation, feel free to type them in the chat box and we'll get to them at the end. But we know sometimes it's easy to forget the questions you have if you don't write it out right away. So feel free to type those in and we'll get to them later. So with that, I will pass it over to our professors.
Thank you so much, Kylie. So my name is Lau Sasarko-Eglin, and I'm as Kylie mentioned, I teach Spanish and also Portuguese in our program. Our program is wonderful in that it offers a Spanish major and two different minors, a Spanish minor and a Latin American Studies minor. And this Latin American Studies is interdisciplinary, meaning that if you decide to pursue a Latin American Studies minor, you will be taking classes in the Spanish the program, but also political science, philosophy, and a few other classes in English.
Also, if we can go back to the previous slide. Also, just to mention, a lot of our students actually take advantage of these opportunities and might even combine these degrees. Other students find it advantageous to pair a Spanish major or Spanish minor with other fields of study. But really, this is a great complement to any interests, and we foster all of those interests throughout the program.
So aside from having full-time professors, our program is unique in that it has teaching assistants that come from Spanish-speaking countries. In the past, we've had teaching assistants that come from Argentina, Uruguay, Spain, Mexico, and other countries. They teach conversation hours and tables. They are also students, so that that our students sometimes have them in other classes as fellow students. And it's a great chance to be able to talk to somebody about their experiences in other countries. What do people your age do in other countries? What is it like? And they share experiences and you share your experiences with them.
And the TAs, I mean, they play a really active role because they participate in the classroom. So they participate in the classroom discussions and then also all the extracurricular activities. Oftentimes the students say that this is really the highlight of the coursework, in the sense that they get to meet with the TAs in a low stakes setting and go to their office hours if they ever have any questions. But also I think the relationships they develop with their TAs are really memorable. I know that oftentimes they keep in touch after the program, and it's one thing to talk about certain topics in the classroom, but they really get that lived experience through conversations with the TAs. So this is a really unique part of the program at Simpson that we've been able to maintain over the years, and students really appreciate this part of the program.
One of the great things is that we have new Fulbright assistants every year. And so you get to meet new native speakers from around the world every year and make additional connections as you then continue on those connections with the Fulbright assistants who were there the year before. And so, they integrate well into our campus and really become part of your greater Spanish speaking network.
So our Spanish program we could divide it into two basic branches. One of them is the content-based classes. And by this, we mean classes that are focused on a particular topic. So the focus there is not on fill in the blanks or grammar, conjugation, or something like that. It's actually being able to talk and write and listen and have meaningful discussions on meaningful topics, like, for example, the ones that you see on the PowerPoint, social movements, turning points, which refers to important events that have happened in the around the Spanish-speaking world. Immigration, global connection, sustainability, and these are just a few of the many that we offer. And the program is very invested in listening to what our students need. So each year we revise the program and see if there's any classes that we should that are relevant for our students. And that's why, for example, sustainability, which is, as you know, a very relevant topic. So we have added it to our course list. And then we have what we call workshops. And these are classes that are 2 credits as opposed to a full class of 4 credits. And they are focused on honing in on a particular skill. So a grammar, your oral production, or writing, translation, creative writing. And again, this is just a few of the many workshops that we offer. And the idea here is that the classes are still based on a topic. So oral communication, you will still be talking about relevant issues, and grammar the same, but you will be focusing on tweaking your different skills. We also are very involved in the rest of the campus, and have started offering honors course in English about crossing borders between the south of the U.S. and its southern neighbors, not just Mexico, but migration through Mexico and through that border. And we also offer within the program a class called Decoding Cultures, where where we see issues of bias, prejudice, how to approach a different culture from our own without judgment, and being able to analyze that culture and in turn our very own, thanks to this kind of approach.
I think students are always impressed with how much knowledge they gain in the courses and language skills at the same time. So second language acquisition studies show that really by studying the language in context, so in a content-based approach, using sources in Spanish. So in our courses, it's common to see videos, literature, texts of all kinds, audio samples, interviews, so a wide variety of sources that I think piques interest and motivation among students, and really they find that their language skills really develop quickly, and they come out of these classes with a solid, foundation on issues relevant to Latinx communities in the US and Latin America, and Spanish-speaking communities in general. So the Spanish-speaking world in general.
And the other great thing is that it is a flexible program. So if you have a really heavy semester, we don't want you to lose that Spanish skills and lose the opportunity to continue digging into that knowledge and growing as a Spanish speaker and getting all of this additional knowledge. And so the incorporation of workshops give you that flexibility that a lot of people would be looking for, that otherwise at some other places you might have to choose. This semester, I might not be able to do Spanish. Well, the great thing about our program is that you don't have to choose. You can actually continue on and keep growing as a Spanish speaker, keep moving forward, and then also be able to study other elements and do additional things on campus.
Many of our courses you will find, because we focus on relevant topics, you will find that they are going to be relevant to your other majors or your other minors. So a class that we don't have listed there, but is, for example, we offer a class that is called Spanish for the Professions, where we see Spanish as pertains to different professions. So health services and business and education, etc. And you will start seeing the connections, even not just in that particular class, but in every class. I have students that say, oh yeah, in this other class we saw this, and yes, so you will start making the connection. Spanish is not just a language for us, and it's not just a one, a department that is set apart from the rest. No, it's an integral part of the campus, your career, the campus academic life, and etc. And I also want to comment this picture, and it's relevant, a segue to the next slide. This picture shows students and myself, students from the Spanish program and the World Languages Department at the Latino Heritage Festival. And yes, we can move on to the next slide, where we will be talking about how, for us, Spanish goes beyond the classroom, and it is very important, and we take every opportunity we can to have students involved in real life Spanish use. So, for example, like I mentioned, the Latino Heritage Festival, this year it was canceled, but that's another issue. The picture that you see here is we took the students of several Spanish classes to Latino Day on the Hill. So we went to the Capitol and heard many different groups and activists talk about a variety of issues that were related to the Latinx community. In Iowa, we participated in a climate march together with other Latino groups. We're hosting a series of conversations, different sessions with speakers from the Latino community. We have invited guest speakers to our classrooms. Last semester, we had a film series where we showed different films, and we had experts in the fields of that film, to talk about and answer questions. There are clubs on campus that you can be a part of, like Latinos Unidos or International Student Organization. That they do very interesting and engaging activities. We always try for the students to be engaged in the community. And the last point that says mentoring is that there are a few students that are particularly interested in a certain topic, so they pair up with one of the professors and we mentor them, and they do research, and they go on to present, for example, at the Creativity and Research Symposium that we hold every year. The first point in that slide, Simpson Meets the Spanish-Speaking Community of Des Moines Research Program, is a program that we started last semester, and we have been working with students that are become research assistants, and the objective there is to make a connection with the Latino community in the bigger Des Moines area, to see if we can find volunteering opportunities for our students, or internships or jobs. And at the same time, the students that are working with us have also had wonderful opportunities of interviewing leaders in the community. One of our students, not necessarily one of the research assistants, but one of our students was able to get a job in the Latinos Affairs office this semester. Yeah, I think that's it for that.
The other thing, we have a vast network of alumni that are a part of your community as well. Every student on campus can request an alumni mentor in the field that they're interested in their field of study. And we have a long list of people who actually really want to work with our undergraduates, who are professionals in a wide variety of fields, where they also majored and minored in Spanish and use it every day in their work. And so as you're starting to think about, interest of major areas of interest of possible fields of study, where your purpose is, the great thing is you can also find an alumni mentor that would help you along the way, in addition to all the great experiences you have at our institution with our great faculty. You then can also expand your network and tap into the alumni network, which will give you even more of a connection and an understanding of how this can be used and how it is used in the Latinx community in the state of Iowa in particular.
Also going off what we had said previously about the TAs, I think we envision our department not as a set of courses, but as a community. So in that regard, we're always doing activities to get the students connected. And we're also, I mean, thinking about the students holistically, right? How they want to integrate Spanish in their daily lives, how they want to continue learning Spanish beyond Simpson. And in that way, we're always finding ways to put them in contact with the community. The students really appreciate these experiential learning opportunities. And we've noticed with the speakers that we've invited to our classrooms, the students really are engaged in those conversations. And we bring in speakers that are experts on the topic we're studying. And because the courses are content-based, students get really excited and ask lots of questions. So it's really kind of a lived experience, that we're promoting through these experiential learning options.
And if I may add, piggybacking on what Molly just said, because we view our program as a community, something additional that we do is, now that I see that you are interested in sciences or mathematics, we usually want to know and are very invested in knowing what our students' interests are. So, for example, in, let's say, your case, you want to study sciences or mathematics, so we put you in contact with a student in our program that is doing exactly the same, either double majoring in math and Spanish, or majoring and minor in those two areas of interest. And then that student can help answer questions, mentor you, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a program that is with you and accompanies with you throughout, and in a variety of levels. You'll really feel that it's a community. It's not just, oh, I go to class and then leave and I don't know anyone and I have no idea if people know me. That does not happen in our program. So we offer a variety of study abroad programs we that are intrinsical to our major and minor in Spanish. We offer 2 semester long programs, one that goes to Concepcion, Chile for a semester, and one that goes to Murcia, Spain. The one that goes to Concepcion, Chile, you go with a group of students and the professor. You take classes with other students studying, also studying abroad from different countries from around the world. You have a homestay with a host family. You're paired up with a buddy system as well, and we have several excursions throughout the semester. The semester to Murcia, Spain, is more of an independent kind of semester. The two students on the left there having churros are the ones that went to Murcia, Spain last semester, and they rented an apartment with roommates. They took classes at the university in Murcia. They also, even though they go by themselves, it's still a very organized program. They were able to take advantage of a pre-program opportunity where they went 3 weeks before and they brushed up on their Spanish and helped them integrate themselves into the society before starting the classes. So that was really good. And then we're offering for now, but we always look for more opportunities. For now, we have 2 short-term programs that run usually either in May term, or during the summer, one of the summer months. One of them is called Mexico and the Maya World, where a group of students goes again with professors, and we again, you stay with host families, you take Spanish classes at an institute, and we also look around the area at particular sites, and they have meetings and classes with the professors that go, looking in particular at the Maya world, how it influences the Spanish speaking part of Merida. And then the other program is a scholarship that an alum from our department it offers every year to one of our students, and that student gets to go for 1 month to Merida. They stay with host families. They go in organized excursions. They study Spanish there. It's both of these programs are very popular. I would say the four of them actually.
So what can you do with a Spanish major or a minor? And literally what we can say is you can do absolutely anything. Spanish is the great universal complement and everything that you can imagine. You know, remember, you're also going to be preparing for careers that might not exist yet. The one thing that's consistent is that employers, graduate schools, areas of professional study really want you to have those intercultural skills. They want you to have the cultural competence and the knowledge. So you get all of those things through our program in addition to the language skills. And so you can do a wide variety of things. These are just a couple of the ideas of some of the things that our students are interested in. We, again, as you can see, have alumni everywhere, including, you know, we have local medical doctors, we have people working on the Spanish helpline, bilingual editors from Meredith Corporation working on their Spanish publications and graphic design, students in graduate school, public defenders. I think that really there is no limit. I mean, it's really what your imagination can kind of bring you to, and we have a little bit of everything. I think that that's really important to ensure that when you're thinking about culture and you're learning about all of these elements, that we really are cognizant of where our students are going and what our students are interested in, which is part of the reason why our program is so effective, because we actually pay attention to you as you're going through your program and adapt our curriculum, just as you saw, for instance, in the sustainability studies, making sure that you have those additional elements of information, particularly as we have more environmental studies, environmental science, international relations, you know, students who are just passionate about the environment in and of itself. So yeah, you guys have other things to add? I think Spanish goes with everything and everybody should do Spanish, but I'm a little bit biased about that.
Yeah, I want to go back to something that Tracy said that is very important. When you come out of our program, you don't just come out being able to speak Spanish or read, write, understand Spanish. You come out with a big sack of skills. You will be able to understand people that do not belong to your culture. You will be able to think critically, work in teams of people with a varying social cultural backgrounds, and those are the skills that Tracy was referring to that are very sought after in the working world, right? So you'll always be at an advantage if you have gone through a program like ours that focuses both on a culture and language. Language is a part of the culture, but specifically language, but also specifically cultural topics. It's not that you will be confident in your use of Spanish. You will be confident that you can, be a bilingual professional.
I think also I'd like to add, in addition to career readiness skills and skills that are desirable for employers, I think also it's important to keep in mind that these are opportunities that you can have throughout your Spanish major, minor, or Latin American studies minor studies. So I think through the partnerships that we're making with community members, oftentimes we get announcements about job opportunities, volunteer positions, internships, and we're always sharing that with our major and minor email lists. So we're always finding things for students to work on. When we went to Latino Day on the Hill, we spoke with the Census Bureau, who was looking for bilingual individuals to interview community members over the summer. So I think in this way, I think you can also have those experiences to help you consider what you might like to do after you graduate.
Right. And I'd also like to bring up an anecdote or an experience. One of our double majors, math and Spanish. She's a senior this year, and she went on a variety of job interviews, and she said that a lot of the questions that she was asked, she was able to answer fully, and was very well prepared because she had these cultural focused classes. And yeah, so even in majors that might seem, wait, what does math have to do with Spanish, or everything is interrelated, and you will see how through this student has repeatedly told us that throughout her career she has been able to expand what her career looks like, not just like the typical jobs that you would think for a math major, but she has expanded her job search into other possibilities, like she's applying for a Fulbright grant and other opportunities. And she has had various internships where she was able to use both her Spanish and her math majors.
Great. Well, thank you so much for all that information. That was really helpful. And my portion will be pretty brief. Just some general information about Simpson. We have about 1,200 full-time undergraduate students. So you really do get those one-on-one connections with professors and other students in your classes. So that gives us about a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you will have professors that know your name, that know your goals, and know how you want to succeed and where you want to go in the future, and are willing to support you, mentor you, and give you the resources you need to move up in your career search and finding internships, job shadowing opportunities, volunteer opportunities. So our smaller class sizes and just smaller enrollment in general really allow for students to feel supported and feel like they have people that care about their growth. And with that, we have over 80 majors, minors, and pre-professional programs. So you already mentioned, you're interested in math. I always tell students, when they say they're interested in minoring in something, whatever program it is, to consider double majoring, because you really can at Simpson double major and finish in 4 years. I know a lot of students worry about that, but because of our small class sizes, because of the structure of our classes and programs, I know a student that was double majoring and double minoring and was going to graduate early. So it is really possible to do everything you're interested in. And so I always encourage students to look into double minoring or double majoring, especially when interested in a language. And so, but in addition to that, a lot of students, their first couple of years, they find classes that they've just never heard of and decide to add a minor at the end. So we always say keep an open mind, because we do have so many great options for a school of our size. So the possibilities are definitely endless with all the different programs we have. And our placement rate, as they were mentioning some stories about past students and current students, our placement rate is about 99%. So 99% of students, after they graduate, within 6 months of graduation, have a job or are in graduate school. So our small class sizes, our committed faculty, and really, really help with this placement rate and show that, they're committed to helping you succeed and preparing you for the real world. And, not just in the classroom, but also taking what you're learning in the classroom to the workplace. So that speaks to our excellent internship programs as well. We have a career development office that will help you, find internships, find job shadowing opportunities, write your resume, cover letter. And so with your professors, your advisor, and career development, you just have so many people supporting you and getting prepared for the workforce and taking everything you're learning in the classroom and putting it into practice. Additionally, 100% of our students receive financial aid in some form. So whether that's grants, scholarships, student loans, 100% of our students receive financial aid. And we have very generous merit-based scholarships based on GPA. So that is something that we always want to make sure students understand and know about, because we're committed to making a private liberal arts education accessible to as many students as possible. So with that,
here at Simpson, and I would tell you from experience that a double major is always going to be in your benefit when it comes to languages, so that you can really show all of the skills and get the depth of knowledge that you really would like, and that you really would want in order to be able to be very competitive. And I think that we also have a lot of students that are like you, passionate about language and about another area, and they come in and they start our program, and then they realize that they like it even more. And so they had originally thought about minoring, and they're like, oh no, I need to major in this. And I'd say, particularly when you're looking at study abroad, I'd say that that's a pretty easy transition to do. But I think that that's my opinion. And Lau and Molly can give you theirs as well. But I always say, when it comes to language, the more the better, because it's one of those skills you have to keep building over time. And if you have any break, then you kind of like backtrack on skills. You know how you lose some Spanish over the summer or during this strange pandemic, because you weren't doing the things every day as you normally would. We want to keep you from doing that. And so those are my 2 cents. But again, Lau and Molly can give you theirs as well. I always say go for major.
It's very important from the very beginning, if you're interested in Spanish or math or whatever field you're interested in, to have advisors in that field. And for example, if you have us as advisors, we will help you decide what courses are best to take each semester, how you can be most successful at being a major minor, or what it is that is best for you. When we work with our advisees, we help them in a way tailor their career path so that it best suits each individual advisee and student that we have. So it's very important for us. And again, going back to this idea that when you come through our department or program, you're not by yourself. We are with you every step of the way, making sure that you're taking the right classes, that if you have a particular interest, that you pursue those interests in conjunction with our program. So obviously, I know that it's everything, all this information might seem very overwhelming, but from the very beginning you set foot on campus, we are there with you to help plan out each semester, what is best, make decisions that come up, show you, like Molly was saying, present you with a variety of opportunities that come our way that we share with the students, and every step of the way you will be mentored and advised by both a faculty and other students.
I would also agree that I would always recommend a Spanish major, but that requires planning and individual advising sessions. But another point of difference between the major and the minor is that the Spanish major has a final capstone at the end. So this is a final opportunity to reflect on your study abroad experience, to reflect on your coursework and your language and cultural acquisition. And in that sense, I think the major really provides those additional benefits of this final reflection process, which students really take the time to reflect on their studies and see, where their studies will take them going forward. So that's another benefit of the major program.
And one thing I always have students ask, is it required to study abroad when you're a Spanish major?
So yes, when you're a Spanish major, there are what we call 8 credits of a study abroad requirement. When you're a minor, it's 4 credits. And many students might be, oh, but I don't know if I can do it, if I can. it's very possible to do it. Again, we find the way for each student to take advantage of the study abroad that best suits them. If it's two shorter term study abroads, or if it's one longer term. There are students actually that have gone both short term study abroads and a full semester study abroad. But again, it depends on each student. But either way, whether it's a semester-long program or a shorter program, we do encourage that, because it's the only way that a student can open their horizons, see different ways of going about things, different viewpoints, and not be only thinking that the way we do things is the only and a valid way. Every student that goes abroad has a wonderful, enriching experience, not just because they make a leap in the amount of Spanish that they know and the confidence that they gain, but they always a lot of the students make friends that after the program they visit, but also all of them come back with a lot of growth, not just in terms of language, and we can see it, they can see it, and these are skills that you can only learn when you study abroad.
I know the follow-up question to that is usually, that sounds fantastic, but how in Lord's name am I going to pay for it? And so there are a wide variety of opportunities in order to fund study abroad, and we have great success with our students getting different scholarships and grants. Making sure that we help you along the way to making those experiences possible is really important to our department, because we think this is just such a valuable experience for you. So we've got a long list and help you along the way and help mentor students through that application process as well.
Thanks. Adios.
Adiós. Fue un placer.